Hello everyone, and this is our next talk in the series of English for soft skills training. And I'm sure you all are the people of modern time. And of course, I mean your mode of thinking. Your open mind to new non-trivial ideas, and I have them. We do a lot of stuff during the day, but we feel really satisfied if and when we can see the outcome, the practical or visible result which signals that your time has not been wasted. Your practical outcome of this talk is going to be the advance in controlling your time. Get control of your time. That is what you will start doing right now. Do you often feel stressed out with too much work? As the time passes by, do you feel like you have more tasks on hand than you have time to do them? Of course you do. You feel like a hamster in a wheel, don't you? How is it that we have got more tips and tricks, tools and technologies, calendars and checklists than ever before, and yet we still always seem to be behind? How is it that we work longer hours, we are moving faster than we've ever moved in history, and yet we never seem to be caught up? How is that we know more about time management today, and yet stress is high? Even though everything that you've ever heard about time management is all logical, tips and tricks, tools and technology, calendars and checklists, it's all logic. But today, time management is no longer just logical. Today, time management is emotional, and our feelings of happiness, joy, pleasure, as well as guilt and fear and worry and frustration, those things dictate how we choose to spend our time, as much as anything in our calendar or on our to-do list. And early time management in 50s, 60s were all based on efficiency. And the idea with efficiency was that if we could develop tools and technology to help us do things faster, then theoretically that would give us more time. Well, there is nothing wrong about efficiency, but there is a limitation to efficiency as a strategy for time management, and it's seen very well by the fact that we all even carry around miniature computers in our pockets, and yet somehow we're still never on time. Well, in the late 80s, psychologists introduced what we know as two-dimensional thinking. They gave us something called the time management matrix, where we consider two aspects of a task: urgency and importance. And then, based on how they scored in these two areas, we could prioritize tasks, one in front of the other. Urgent tasks demand your immediate attention, but whether you actually give them that attention may or may not matter. Important tasks matter, and not doing them may have serious consequences for you or others. For example, answering the phone is urgent. If you don't do it, the caller will ring off and you won't know why they called. But don't worry. In 98% the matter of a call is important for a caller, not for you. They will ring again. For you, it is not important. Going to the dentist regularly is important, but is not urgent. Mastering language skills is very important, but not urgent for most of the people. Picking your children up from school is both urgent and important. If you are not there at the right time, they will be waiting in the playground or the classroom. Worrying about where you are, reading funny emails or checking Facebook is neither urgent nor important. So why is the first thing that you do each day? It is a distraction you should recognize and avoid. These things that keep you from getting your urgent and important tasks done should be recognized and avoided. The distinction between urgent and important is the key to prioritizing your time and your workload, whether at work or at home. Try using a grid like the priority matrix to organize your tasks into their appropriate categories. This chart shows that it is advisable to do urgent important tasks first, important but not urgent are done next, we leave for later urgent but not important, and you skip doing not urgent and not important things at all. Prioritizing is all about focusing first on what matters most, and for the last 20 years, this has really been the spreading mode of thinking. In fact, prioritizing is as valuable skill today as it ever has been in history. We say, get your priorities in order, or you don't have the right priorities. However, there is a limitation to prioritizing that nobody ever talks about, and that is this. There is nothing about prioritizing that creates more time. All prioritizing does is take item number 7 on your to-do list and bumps it up to number 1, which is as valuable in itself. But it doesn't do anything to create more time. And it does nothing to help you accomplish the other items on your to-do list. It is really about borrowing time from one activity to spend on another. And in that paradigm, there are only 2 strategies. One is to do things faster or to do more things. And that is what the world kind of feels like, right? You cannot solve today's time management problems with yesterday's time management thinking. What I have noticed is a new type of a thinker has appeared. Somebody that we refer to as a multiplier. And multipliers use what we call 3-dimensional thinking. While most of people only make decisions based on urgency and importance, multipliers are making a third calculation, which is based on significance. And if urgency is how soon does something matter, and importance is how much does it matter, then significance is for how long is it going to matter. It's a completely different paradigm. It is adding on to what is there. It's in with the old, but it's also in with the new. Because most of us, when we write our to-do list, we say, what's the most important thing I can do today? But that is not how multipliers think. Multipliers instead ask the question, what can I do today that would make tomorrow better? What can I do right now that would make the future better? See, when I say multiply your time, it might sound like an over-exaggeration, but it is really not. Now, it is true that we all have the same amount of time inside of one day. 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, 86,400 seconds. There is nothing any of us can do to create more time in one day. But that's exactly the problem. That type of thinking is the problem. What we have to do is break out of that paradigm and instead think about tomorrow, and that brings us to the idea how you multiply time. The way that you multiply time is simple. You multiply your time by giving yourself the emotional permission to spend time on things today that give you more time tomorrow. That is significance calculation. You multiply time by giving yourself the emotional permission to spend time on things today that create more time tomorrow. The significance calculation changes everything. They realize that instead of trying to get the most of tasks done inside of one day, they need to only get the 1 or 2 tasks done today. You multiply time by spending time on things today that give you more time tomorrow. The first question a multiplier asks is, can I eliminate this? Is it even worth doing? It's another example of how everything you know about time management has changed. Because most of us use to-do lists, and multipliers realize that next generation time management has much more to do with what you don't do than what you do. Multipliers realize that perfection is achieved not only when nothing more can be added, but when nothing more can be taken away. It is the permission to ignore, because anything that we say no to today creates more time for us tomorrow. What you are currently saying yes to makes you say no to your goals or your family. Think about all the things we are doing that we don't need to be doing. For instance, we can start by stopping anything that doesn't require any warning, apology, or explanations. This might include watching TV, reading long emails, doing others' work, and gossiping. The above question also highlights an important point. When we say yes to something we don't want to do, we take time away from what makes us happy and fulfilled. The challenge emotionally is that we struggle with guilt and we struggle with wanting to say no, but really feeling like we have to say yes. And so we go through life trying to never say no. In one of the conversations I had with multipliers, they said something that changed my life. They said, you know, it's stupid to go through life trying to never say no. What you have to realize is that you should give yourself an emotional permission to say no to something you are not excited about. If you cannot eliminate the task, the next question is, can I automate the task? Anything that creates a process for today saves me time tomorrow. It's like setting up online bill pay. I never have 2 hours in my day to set up online bill pay. I just don't have time. And if I had 2 hours in my day, I would never use it to set up online bill pay. But a multiplier realizes that if I save 30 minutes a month from paying my bills by setting up online bill pay, then it makes sense. It will be creating free time in my future months. If it can't be automated, then the next question is, can it be delegated? Can I teach someone else how to do this? I delegated bills paying to my husband. Believe it or not, he automated it. Well done. And the point is that you can delegate anything, but if you ask an average person, other things you could be delegating to somebody else, they would say, yes. But then you say, why don't you train somebody else to do it? What most of us would answer? Well, because they just cannot do it as well as I can. If you think longer term, you realize they'll be able to master the task, just like you were. Significance changes everything. It's how you multiply your time. It's giving yourself the permission of imperfect for a little while, because over time they will be able to do things well. Now, if you cannot eliminate, automate, or delegate a task, there is only one remaining question, and that question is, should I do this task now? Must it be done now, or can I wait until later? If the task must be done now, then that's what we call concentrate. It is all about focus and avoiding distractions. And honestly, there is nothing new there. You just need to find what works best for you. I will give you some tips, which usually help me. I avoid multitasking. Most of us feel that multitasking is an efficient way of getting things done. But the truth is that we do better when we focus and concentrate on only one thing. Multitasking affects productivity and should be avoided. Avoid procrastination. Procrastination is one of the things that badly affect the productivity too. It can result in wasting essential time and energy. It could be a major problem in both your career and your personal life. To start doing, to begin, is the hardest part of the whole process. Once you begin, then you get involved and you want to finish. That is how our brain works. I personally found a very powerful, yet very simple tool. Just count down from 5 to 1 to push yourself. like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! And somewhere at point of 2, you find yourself already on the way. Try and see how it works. Then set up deadlines. When you have a task at hand, set a realistic deadline and stick to it. Try to set a deadline few days before the task has to be done so that you can complete all those tasks that may get in the way. Challenge yourself and meet the deadline. Reward yourself for meeting a difficult challenge. Start early. Most of the successful men and women have one thing in common. They start their day early, as it gives them time to sit, think, and plan their day. When you get up early, you are more calm, creative, and clear-headed. As the day progresses, your energy levels go down, which affects your productivity, and you don't perform well. Take some breaks. Take a walk, listen to some music, or do some quick stretches. The best idea is to take off from work and spend time with your friends and family. In fact, there is no such thing as time management. You can't manage time. Time continues on, whether we like it or not. So there is no such thing as time management. Really, there is only self-management. That was biggest insight that I had. Multiplying our time isn't about doing things as quickly as possible. Rather, it's about giving ourselves the permission to eliminate, which is to ignore, automate, that means to invest time, delegate it. Delegate is about permission of imperfect, and then concentrate on what truly matters. What I'm doing now, I have given myself a permission to invest time. I am creating some free time for future by getting this video made. This could not have been eliminated, neither delegated, but it can be automated. We are creating significance that will give me free time tomorrow. Be fruitful and multiply. Thank you.